Oh, funny thing was you're literally the first resident that I have. Like you're the first room on my list. So we made it by this much.
And you don't smoke any weed.
Honestly, Brandon, you can get away with it if you want. Oh, I'm not saying I won't stop him. I'm just saying he can get away with it if you're careful. I answered.
I think the mics are. Yeah,
Michelle, you're going to be the unfortunate one that I start off the meeting with. All right. Hopefully everyone who wanted pizza has them. So I'll go ahead and continue with the meeting. Thank you so much for bearing with us on being late with the pizza. So now you know what we are, but what it is that we do. ACM, we put up a bunch of events, so we have a lot of guest speakers. Tonight it's just me, but hopefully in the coming meetings have more interesting people who you get to listen to at our general body meetings. Then we have ICPC, which is International Collegiate Programming Contest. Then we have Revolution UC, which is one of the biggest things that we do. We have a bunch of fun socials, and we also do review sessions for classes that one might usually find difficult. Other than that, we have our Slack community, Discord community. We also record our meetings and our meeting minutes, and we have office hours that you're welcome to join. Membership requirements, you only have to attend 2 meetings. So you guys have attended the first one, bravo, or you only have to attend another one, and then you have all the rights of a general member. You also do not have to pay any ACM national fees unless you really want to, but you don't have to do it to be a part of our ACM. Code of conduct, just housekeeping things. Make sure that you treat everyone with respect. And you can read more about our anti-harassment policy at acm@uc.org/conduct. And generally, just be cool. Just treat everyone with respect. No, well, actually, don't talk to someone in a condescending way. We are all here just to learn and have fun. We also do academic service like programming review sessions, especially the Intro to C++ class that a lot of you might have already taken or probably will soon. And you can also check out our past talks on YouTube. We also have office hours just to hang out or help with homework or tests. And they will be virtual on Discord and also in our office 802. So it's going to be a hybrid format. And they're every Thursday at 8 p.m. right after this meeting. And when we don't have a meeting, it's still 8 p.m. So ICPC, this kind of TBD, but if you're interested in joining a team or volunteering, come talk to me after this meeting. Revolution UC, that's probably the biggest thing that we do, something that I'm waiting to talk about. It's a UC student hackathon and ACM hosted generally. We're coming back in spring 2022. That date is wrong. I apologize. We're coming back next year. And it's a 24-hour of coding, learning, and having fun. It's 300 plus attendees usually, and it's a great way to connect with sponsors, get co-ops. Previously, we've had companies like Fifth Third, 8451 come to Revolution UC. So if you're looking for co-ops or full-time, this is one of the best places to do it. Check out revolutionuc.com for updates and follow us on our Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you're looking to organize or help us with organizing Revolution UC, come talk to me or any of the other execs after this. We are also building a community server. Please, do you want to talk about it? Or?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is something we're actually doing this year. The community server is basically just all the exec and the general body if they're interested. We're building a server part for. We're in the process of ordering and collecting the different physical parts right now, but we'll be assembling it soon. So the main goal was to have ACM's own file backup and stuff, and also for VMs for the general body to use and occasional game servers for online social and stuff. So if you're interested, you can contact me on Slack or Discord. and we can I'll let you know when we're starting the process of building.
So if you're interested in building your own computer, this might be a great way to start off with that.
Oh, and also the documentation will be up after the whole process is complete. So if you're looking to build your own server tools.
All right, so a few more things. Slack is probably one of the best ways to connect with any of us. We're always active on Slack and we're sending all our updates there as well. And we usually have discussions, links to cool stuff like jobs, whatever events we're helping or homework help, whatever impromptu things outside of general body meetings that we do. So you can go ahead on acmcincy.slack.com/sign up. It's kind of wordy, but it's just ACM Cincy and the rest of it's just like Slack and sign up. And you can go ahead and join it. You can also, you can use your computer or your mobile app itself. And the same code of conduct before applies to Slack itself. Another thing that we're doing is Discord. So this is kind of something that we started last year when COVID hit. And I know Discord is a more CS friendly, tech friendly platform. So go ahead, join our Discord using that QR code. I'll have that for another 5 seconds. And same rules as Slack apply, but Discord is a more informal spot where we usually do our virtual socials and stuff like that. A few other resources. So we have acm@uc.org/archive/resources. You can also join our listserv at acm@uc.org. Or whenever you, or you can also go on Campus Link to do that. And we also have a YouTube channel where we usually upload all our meetings. So you can see meetings from, I think, past 3 years. And you can also see some clips from Revolution UC if you're interested. So here's some introduction from the exec. So hi, it's me. I'm the president of ACM, and I'm Josh. I'm a 4th-year CS student, and these are my Slack and Instagram and email. Feel free to message me or email me whenever you want if you guys need any help or want to be more involved in ACM. I am from Mumbai, India, so I'm an international student, big city guy. And I'm also a big John Mulaney guy. I could probably quote John Mulaney, any John Mulaney stand-up. You?
Yes, I'm Piyush, the vice president this year. I'm a 4th-year CS student. That's my Slack handle, Twitter, Discord. That's my email. And fun fact about me is I play a lot of Rocket League, so if you do, you can add me on screen.
Hello, I just came back in. So, yeah, I'm Coach Scout. I'm the Trevor. I'm a 3rd-year IT student. So, not the CS students here. Here's my Slack Discord. I am a Cincinnati native. I've lived here since I was 4 years old. And, yeah, all these gym shoes. So, there's that. So, .NET, it is life. It is what I've been doing. All my internships is what I've been worrying about a lot. But is it low? Not really, no. But yeah, I'm also very agile, quite angry. So yeah, I'm also going to be. Also, yeah, this thing just setting more details in Slack if you want to find out more about it. Thank you. Howdy. That's a stunning picture. Oh. Yeah, so I'm a secondary this year. I'm also the logistics lead for Revolution UC, along with Canol. I'm a 4th-year CS major, which is still hard for me to wrap my head around. And I'm also working towards my Master's of Science in CS through the Ascend program. So if you have any questions about Ascend or how that works, feel free to reach out. I'm also a full-stack software developer co-op at London Computer Systems. I've been there for 3 co-op rotations, and I'm planning on going back to my 4th next summer. There's my Slack and Discord. I'm always at the CornCow567. Certified meme lord, and I'm also a Zelda fanatic. So, yeah.
Yeah, Daniel, full stack.
Yeah. So you got Jim. Yeah, I can verify his meme lord.
Oh, meme lord, yeah, I'll certify that too. You'll get to know more once you join our Discord. Bob, do you want to introduce yourself? Is Bob here? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Bao. I'm a webmaster at ACM at UC. I'm a ECS student. My info is on there. Currently, I'm learning TypeScript and React. I love making web apps, so if anyone has questions, just want to chat, hit me on Slack or Discord.
Awesome. Now these are our committee chairs. So Nat and Lena aren't here, so I'll introduce them. But Natalia, you can go first.
Hi, did it come? Great. Anyway, hi, I'm Talia. As you can read over there, I'm a first-year CE major. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm here to help anyone else who also doesn't know what they're doing. Don't worry about it. You can talk to me on Slack. So what I do is I'm gonna tell you guys some really cool events like once every second Tuesday of the month. So I'm just gonna like put out a list of cool hackathons, events other people have sent me. And if you want to know more about it, just message me on Slack and I'll redirect you to them. I was gonna say something else, and I forget it.
Oh wait, I do have a question. What instrument are you playing in your picture? I've always wondered that.
Oh, it's like a really grainy version of a double bass. I don't know why I use that picture. It's just the only okay picture of me, because every other picture of mine is like a straight face. It's just like neck above face, and it looks so sad. That one I look like I'm doing something.
Do you play it professionally?
Huh?
Do you play it professionally? No. Oh, okay.
I'm a but I do like
So Nat is our membership chair and he's a second year CS. So he's gonna be doing a lot of the socials and organizing them. And that's Lena. She's the outreach chair and she's a fourth year CS. And that's her Slack ID. And she handles most of our social media and all of that fun jazz. So, what do you want to see from us? If you have any ideas for our general meetings, if you want to do any talk, or if there is a particular talk that you want to listen from us, if there is any particular workshop, any socials like fun events or anything, if you want to play Among Us with all of us, we are down for that. And any other cool buzzwords? Do you guys have any ideas right now? Machine learning. Do you want to do that talk, Rachel? All right, we can have you either this semester or next semester for that. All right, go ahead.
I was want to ask how many freshmen are here, because I'm a freshman and I don't know anything. Well, learn stuff.
Oh, yeah, if you guys want to do a head count of. All right, so a good amount, 7 to 10 freshmen. And all our talks are beginner friendly, so you don't need to know any previous knowledge before coming to our talks, and that's something that we flex hard on. So if you guys have any ideas later on, feel free to either email us or message us on Slack or Discord. So, perfect segue, because you mentioned you're a freshman, and I see a few first-year students here as well. And one thing that you use as a CS major a lot is version control. And unfortunately, for some reason, they don't always teach that in classes. So we thought that it might be cool to do that for our first meeting, because you're going to use that for the rest of your computer science life if you stick to this field. So Git and command line. What is a command line? So before we had this fancy GUI where you could just hit a button and like click things and everything, people would use computer using command lines. They would actually have to type out every single thing that you wanted to do. And that still exists, but not a lot of people use it. So it is basically a text-based interface for your computer. And you'll see a lot of CS people use it, so it's more flexible and easier to program for than a GUI. And if you've ever seen any movie where there's a hacker and it's like boo, 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 I'm in. They're probably using command line. And so what is a version control? A version control is generally known as VCS or version control system. It just kind of helps you keep track of codes because you'll learn soon enough that programmers generally work in teams. There's barely any time where you work single-handedly. And so when you're working in teams, you probably will have 5 different computers, and those 5 different computers would have 5 different versions. So you want to make sure there's only one version of code, and a version control system is how you keep track of those code changes and work in a collaborative manner in the same code base. It also provides more transparency in your code base because you can see who's worked on what stuff, and then it's easy to track down bugs and all of that jazz. So Git. Well, before we talk about this, how many of you actually have used a version control previously? All right. And how many of you have used version control at co-op? All right, sweet. So if you've used version controls at co-ops. I know some companies use very different ones. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but the one that my company used was pretty shitty because it took a whole lot of time, and I'd spend like half of the day just like getting the branch and pushing it back. But Git apparently is way faster, and it was created by the Linux community, but mostly Linus. It has very simple commands, it's easy to learn, and that's why we're going to focus the rest of the meeting on learning Git. So some basic commands. So these are for Bash and they'll work for Unix, but since I'm on a Windows, these might look a little different. But essentially, it's just over here, if you see CD, it just means if you want to go to a certain drive or change your directory. ls means getting list of files, but for Windows, that looks different. It's dir and not ls. So if I do dir, you can see all the folders that are in this particular folder. And then mkdir, mkdir, it's just making a new folder. So if I do intro in here, and if I do cd intro, you'll see that now I'm in C users gada intro. So that means in that folder that I was in previously, users, you can see there's an intro folder that I literally just created. So it's pretty handy tool whenever you don't want to use go do right click on all of that. You can directly do things using typing. And touch is just making a new file in a directory. That also looks a little different in Windows. For that, what you have to do is type null. That means it's going to create an empty file and then a bracket or a greater than sign, and then you just do file.txt. It's going to create a new file, and if I go back to that folder, I'm going to see an empty txt file in there. So pretty cool if you've never used command lines. If you want to impress a non-CS friend, you can use these tiny hacks to do those. I've definitely done that in the past. All right, so now coming to Git. If you're on a Windows computer, you're gonna have to install Git. But if you're on a Unix, I don't think you have to install Git, right? But if you don't want to install Git, literally just go like download Git, and it's usually the first link, and you can just download it for Windows. So if any of you want to follow along, feel free to right now. This entire thing is definitely a lot more helpful when you follow along instead of just staring at me doing it. So I think I already installed it beforehand. So if I type Git and it gives me this bunch of jargon, that means I have Git installed. And the first thing that I have to do is feed my information into Git. So what I'm going to do is do git config, means Git configuration, and then -- global means I want it to apply to the entire computer and not just this file. Then I'm going to do user.name, and then I'm going to put my first and last name so that it knows that I'm the user of this Git. And then similarly, I'm going to do git config -- global because I want it to apply to the entire computer. User.email. Then I'm going to put my email. Easy enough. So now Git knows that this is the user and this is the email that it has to look at. Once I have that configured, all I have to do is make a project. So if you remember these commands that I literally just used, I'm going to go ahead and use them again. I'm going to do make dir, which stands for make directory, git_demo. And now I'm going to cd into that. So I'm going to open that folder called git demo. And once I'm in it, I'm going to do git init. A lot of times you'll see init in a lot of places in computer science or while programming, and it just stands for initialize, means I want to start something. So once I do that, it's going to say initialized empty Git repository in this particular folder. So there you go. We have Git repository in this folder. Now, this is the part where we do some coding. Once we have that fixed, once we have our Git set up, you can go ahead and start coding. Since I don't want to write a whole ass code right now, what I'm going to do is just create a new file, again, like I did before. So I'm going to do type null. I'm going to do test underscore file dot txt. All right, so now another new command is git status. So git keeps track of a lot of things. It keeps track of all the files in it, and each file has a status, which we'll go more in depth about later. But this command just lets me know the status of these files. So over here it says on track file, test file. So we know test file exists, but apparently Git isn't tracking that yet. It doesn't care what changes goes on in those files right now. All right, so once you finished editing your files, which you're not going to do right now, you can stage them using git add. So right now, how it says, oh, file not tracking, what I can do is I can do git add, and I can just start that file name, which was, I think, test demo, test file. It's right there. Test file.txt, and then it didn't give me any error. That means it's added. And then I can do git commit dash m, and I can do my first commit. So before I enter this, I kind of want to go through what it means. Git just means it's a git command, so that the compile or like the OS knows that I'm using git. And then commit kind of means that, hey, I've made all the changes that I've wanted to in this file. Now I want to commit them. Now I want to confirm these changes. Not save, I want to confirm that, hey, I've fixed the bug that I wanted to. And dash m, it's just a flag that says message. So usually whenever you use a commit, it's good practice to send a message so that whoever actually reads your files or whoever actually sees the changes that you've made kind of knows why you made those changes. So if you can say like, oh, the footer button wasn't working, and so you can say fixed footer button, and then this is the commit that's actually fixing that. So now it says one file change, 0 insertions, 0 deletions. So I know it's done something because it hasn't given me an error. Now what I can do is I can do a git log so that I can get a history of all the things that I've done. And over here I can see commit weird number head master. So it means I've committed to the master branch or the main branch. And then here it says author, which would just be the name and the email that you sent before. It also gives a timestamp, and over here it gives the message saying my first commit, so that whoever's checking the log knows why you made that commit. Pretty straightforward so far, right? Any questions? All right. So branches. Branches, probably the most important part about Git. It's kind of what makes, or kind of what stands out about it. Because we learned about how to push or like commit changes and make changes and all of that stuff. But how is it helpful when you're actually working with a bunch of people? Branches is what makes it helpful. So think of it as, let's say there are 5 people working. You obviously don't want to work on the same code base. So what you can do is you can each create a different branch, work on that thing, and make sure that branch itself is working, that branch is bug-free, and then push it to the main so that you know you're not sending any bad code. So it's kind of like isolating all the changes you've made into a single part without affecting the main code, without breaking an entire thing. And there are some some commands that you can use for Git. So you can use git branch and then type in the branch name to create the branch. You can use the same thing with a -d flag to delete the branch, and then you can do git checkout to switch into a different branch. So if you want to switch into branch, you can do git checkout and put that branch name. And if you want to merge a branch into some another branch, you can use git merge. So make changes on a branch. Now we're going to make a branch in our Git, right? Just using the same command prompt. Check that out and make a change and see how that looks like. So I'm going to do git branch add text. So I want to make a new branch called add text, and now that git that I was working on has a new branch. Now what I'm going to do is check that branch out so that it knows that this branch is that I want to work with. So checking out just basically tells Git that, hey, I want to work on the add text branch and not whatever branch I was working before. Now I'm going to do echo hello world, which just basically means I want to type hello world into this particular file, test file.txt. All right, no errors. Seems like everything's going fine right now. And now I can commit those changes just like I did before. So I can do git commit -m. Oh. Be like added new text, because that's what I did. Oh, so this is a good thing. One thing I forgot to do was add those things because Git wasn't tracking those changes. So I want to make sure that I stage those changes. Tell Git that, hey, I've made changes in this one file and I want to add this. So what I can do is add text file.txt. Did I put the name wrong of the test? Oh, fuck. Thanks, whoever that was. Another thing that I'm pretty sure works is just doing git add dot, which just adds every single file in it, so you don't have to type in each and every word or like each and every file in it. And once you're done with that, git commit -m new text. See, it says one file changed, one insertion. Kudos. So we're pretty much done with that. Now we know what Git is, but what is GitHub? So GitHub is kind of like a remote location to push and pull code. All that we did right now was on our local computer. It was just over here, but if I want to work with someone else, they can't access my computer, obviously. So there needs to be something else that they can access where they can pull the code from or push it also. And so GitHub is one of the tools that let you do it. So if, just by a show of hands, who's worked with GitHub? All right, pretty much everyone in the room. Nice. And if you haven't, don't be scared. It's nothing too difficult. It's pretty much what we've worked with right now. Just a little more funky, a little more fun. So if you go on github.com, I'm already logged in, but if you're not, or like if you don't have an account, definitely make one. It's very helpful. And if you go into your own account, you can usually see the repositories or all the projects that people have worked on, and most of it is usually open source, so you can see what other people have also worked on. And just a side note, if you're looking for co-ops, having an active Git is very helpful because that's something that employers do look at pretty frequently. So that's what GitHub is. It's a remote location to push and pull code, and so you definitely want to ensure that your local repo or whatever you have on your computer is in sync with GitHub, and it's probably one of the best service for code collaboration. So using Git for to collaborate, I don't know if you'll go through the entire thing, but essentially what you want to do is if you have a GitHub account, you can make a repository, and if you want to connect it to an existing remote, you can do git remote add origin. So if you have something on your computer that you've already worked with and you want to connect it to your GitHub, you can use this command. Or if you want to start something new on your own computer, you can use git clone. So I'll kind of do a git clone. What I can do is I have my repository, so I'll create a new ACM first meeting. I'll create a new repository, make it public, and add a readme file. Then I'll do create repository. And so now I have this HTTPS. What I can do is I can cd. No, I'll just stick to this one. I'll make. No, I think I probably should start a new one or open a new folder. So another fun thing you can do is, if you're ever lazy like me and if you don't want to like type in commands, what you can do is literally just do CMD, whichever folder you're in, type in CMD and open it right there. So that's kind of a quick way to access CMD in a particular folder. And then what I'm going to do again here is make the repository, and then I'm going to do git clone, and I'm going to type that into it. Great. Now we have everything that we needed from this git into our repository or into our computer. So that's how you clone a repo. And if I go back in that folder, so if I go in repos, this is kind of empty because it doesn't have a README on it yet, or like any files in it, as you can see. But if I were to make a file, I could again push it. So I've been mentioning push and pull a lot. If you're wondering what that is, it essentially means when I say push, I mean pushing something from my local computer into GitHub repo. So whatever changes I made, I push it into the GitHub repo so then everyone else can see it. And what pull means, if someone else has made those changes in the GitHub repo, I want to ensure that my GitHub is updated. So I can pull it into my computer so that my local is up to date and I can see all the changes that everyone else has made. All right, so we won't probably do the entire activity because we're short on time. But if you want to practice this a little bit yourself, what you can do is go to ACM at uc.org. And if you go into members, what you can do is add yourself to this directory. There are a bunch of instructions of how you can add yourself to this directory. Don't let these scare you because this is essentially what we've been through today. And it's pretty easy. It gives an example too of what you can add. And if you see there are people who've added themselves before, they've added their GitHub, they've added their names, photos, and all of that stuff. So give it a try. If you have any questions, you can come up to us after this meeting during office hours. Just message us on Slack. So that's pretty much end of the GitHub workshop. Do you guys have any questions so far? Go ahead.
I got a quick one. When you make your GitHub, do you think you should use your personal email or your UC email?
I'd say I've seen a lot of people use their UC email. I personally use my personal email because I want to use my GitHub for hopefully the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I think the UC email is only valid for like 2 years after you graduate or something.
Okay, so use your personal, but you can add your school one, and then you get GitHub Premium or Pro or whatever it is.
That's true too. So I think keep that as a main one, but use your school ID for the benefits and stuff like that.
And then will these slides be posted somewhere on the Discord or Slack or something like that?
Yeah, I think they're usually either available on our, they're available on our website. I think it's in archive.
Okay.
And this entire workshop is also played on our YouTube channel. So if you want to like go through the meeting, you can go through that on our YouTube. All right. Any other questions? Awesome. Be sure to join our sibling organizations. I could not have time to upload the ACMW logo. Sorry, Liz. But definitely join our sibling organization, IEEE. They have their next meeting at September 9th. That's 2 weeks from now at 5 p.m. in the room next door. ACM meeting has their first meeting next week, same time, Thursday. And then UC Women in Tech, they have their first meeting on August 30, which is coming Monday at 5 p.m. in Teachers 540. And ITSA, which is IT Student Association, you can follow them on their website, but their first meeting is still TBD. If you're interested in leading a talk or a workshop or have a cool idea for a meeting, let us know on Slack, like I mentioned before, or email me, whichever works. Nishal, I still have you on the list, so you're not getting away with that. And for our upcoming meetings, for our next meeting, which will be September 9th, 2 weeks from now, we have JP Morgan Chase coming to our meeting. So if you're looking for internships, they're literally hiring right now for next summer. So that's a great way to talk to them and kind of get to know and network with JP Morgan and see what kind of opportunities they have. Plus, they'll also do a professional development workshop. So they'll kind of give you resume tips on how to network with people and other stuff like that. Then the Thursday after that, we have an ACM workshop called Hacking the Coding Interview, which Baru over here is going to give. So we've done that last year. It was a huge success. So definitely bringing that back. And the meeting after that is with Dr. Boyang Wong. He's a professor at UC and has done great research on cybersecurity. So it's probably going to be somewhere around that. Get to know us, come hang out with us on Discord, join our voice channels, keep texting on Slack and Discord if you have any questions, if you find something cool, if there's a cool article that you found and you're like, hey, I think everyone would like to know this, definitely just send a message. If you're confused, talk to us about it. If you need any homework help, send a message on it, and just keep talking and keep the community active. Thanks for coming to our meeting. We'll hang around for a while if you guys have any questions, if you want to come up and talk to us. But thanks for coming and be sure to come to our next meeting.
Please get more pizza.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? The Discord? Or do you want me to put that up for the? I think you can scan this over here, or you can use the bigger one, whichever you feel like. What's your name again? Az?
Yeah.
I'm Josh. Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Josh.
Josh?
Yeah.
Nice
Are
to
you
meet
first year?
No, second year.
Second year. Oh, were you online the first year?
No, I used to be chemical engineering, but I switched to computer science.
Oh, okay, sweet. How do you like CS classes so far?
It's good.
Good.
It's kind of early, so I can't really tell.
Oh,
I like it. So,
have you taken any CS classes?
Yeah.
Which one?
Data structures.
Okay. Are you taking data structures right now?
Yeah.
Is it with Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How do you
You have
like?
me too?
No. I have him for another class, but I have a friend who's taking data structures right now. I think he has Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was mentioning the first assignment was like linked list or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I joined. Thank you, man.
Sweet. Yeah. Feel free to send a message, introduce yourself with that, and let me know if you have anything else to talk about.
Nice to meet you, Josh, right?
Josh. All right. See you around. What? I thought I sucked.
I'm trying to talk fast, but
Okay. I didn't make it work for that. I was definitely nervous at the beginning because of the pizza and everything, because I wasn't sure what to do.
I don't know if that's someone on the site.
I don't
No,
think
not
I.
really.
What?
No, not very much.
You're just as member as I am.
You're the president.
Well, to be fair, I haven't attended, or like, I don't have attendance on record, so, because I haven't signed up yet. For the like, I don't have an attendance on record because I didn't fill up the form yet.
For this meeting or for any?
For this meeting. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, this did so that.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, you're good.
So we're talking about GitHub, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't like catch on. So what
GitHub?
exactly do you talk about? Like how to connect GitHub with command line?
What's that?
So did we discuss about how to connect command line on our computer with GitHub?
Oh, yeah, so it's the same thing. If you look over here, I'm gonna end this meeting real quick.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, I didn't know it was transcript. That's pretty cool. Let's start sharing.